Hey everybody, it's Ricardo, and I am here with a very special guest all the way from Japan. We've got Niitsuma-san from Capcom here, who has actually come by with a new version of Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which you guys have been following very closely on the site for a while now. And there's some new playable characters. So in the version he's brought by today, we've had X-23, Wesker, Spider-Man, and Tronbon, which were announced not too long ago, and now we've had a chance to try them out. So welcome, sir. Big question for you is, the roster is still one of the most hotly anticipated topics out there among the fans. How are you guys balancing out what people want versus what you guys want to put in?
I'm sure the fans have a lot of choices they want, and obviously we can't put them all in. But we do listen to the fans, and so we take that into account, and we look at the requests the fans have and the characters that would be most suitable to a fighting game, and then the characters that we think would just be fun to have in a fighting game. And hopefully that lines up with what the fans have given to us as input, and then we put that in the game. So I hope the fans are happy with the choices we made.
Now, I know we've been talking a lot about the Marvel characters, and there's a very loud contingent of Marvel fans, but there's also a large contingent of Capcom fans that you're going to have to kind of pay respect to as well. Now, in the case of somebody like Wesker, who there are a lot of expectations on what he's supposed to be like, especially after the last Resident Evil game. Can you talk to us about what it was like bringing him into the game and figuring out a moveset that would work for him?
Well, the dev team, what they did is they really studied Resident Evil 5 thoroughly. And what they did is they looked at Wesker in the game and they just saw how he moves, what kind of attacks he does, how he even talks. And they took all that and they tried to find what is the essence of Wesker in all that. And by pulling out what makes the essence of Wesker and then recreating it in this fighting game, I think people who play it will recognize, this is Wesker. This is the Wesker they know. So I think they were able to just pull out all the necessary elements that you would need from a Resident Evil 5 Wesker to play him in a fighting game.
All right, now Tronbon is huge fan favorite, but she's a little more kind of humorous and kind of lighthearted. And given the new look that the game has been given and kind of like the heavier tone, what was it like making her fit with all the different characters and just the action and make sure that it still worked out?
That's a good question because Trombone, she is a popular character from the previous game, and as you can see, it's not just her fighting in the game, but obviously her robot Gustav that she fights in tandem with. And because of that, she's a much bigger character than some others, so we can classify her as one of the heavy hitters in the game. So for us, Tron isn't just not completely jokey, but she's also one of the main heavy hitters in the game. And I think the team did a good job of being able to recreate that in the game. Now, as you were just saying, Ricardo, about the design and the art style in the game, yes, her previous designs don't really match what we were trying to shoot for in Marvel vs. Capcom 3. So what the team had to do is they had to really put the emphasis in the design on Gustav, since the robot part of the Trombone character makes up, I guess, 3/4 of the whole character model. By focusing the design aspects on that and making it look like the American comic book feel, I think it kind of lessened the cartoony aspect of Tron herself. So overall, I think she does fit into the whole Marvel vs. Capcom 3 artistic style. And the team made sure that they worked really hard to get her right so that she would not look out of place in this setting.
Now, on the Marvel side, we've got Spider-Man and X-23. Now, Spider-Man everybody knows very, very well. So, you know, did you have to change much when you imported him into the game other than maybe just make sure the art style and the moves matched for MVC3?
That is true. He is a character that is well known. But our goal with him this time was to get him as close to the source material as possible. So the key word for us when working on him this time was movement. We want to make sure that he moves more like what you know from the comics. So the way he throws out the webbing and flies across the screen and things like that, we want to make sure that it has the speed and the agility that you expect from Spider-Man. And so we've added a few new moves related to his movements in the game. So I think he's a bit fresher, won't be the exact same character, and I think a little truer to his source material.
Now, speaking of source material, X-23 was kind of a controversial choice for the roster because we already have Wolverine, and this is kind of a lady Wolverine with some extra claws to some folks. Sorry, fans. Now, why'd you pick her, and how? Like, we played her so she doesn't actually play exactly like Wolverine, but she's still kind of within that vein. So, talk to us about kind of her gameplay and the thinking behind her choice.
Well, first I'll answer the why part of X23. When we were making this game, we wanted to balance it out with some more female characters, especially on the Marvel side. And so when we were talking with them about what characters we could use, they came to us and said, how about X23? And when they suggested her to us, the team just thought, oh, that's a great character. They liked the design. They were just taken with the look of her, and they thought it'd be a nice challenge to see what they could do with her. So they were really excited about being able to work with her.
Now, you guys have recently announced a release date for the game, which is February 15th, so it's not too far away. And we've also seen that there's a collector's edition that is available. Now, we noticed one of the perks of the collector's edition is 2 additional characters to the roster. Now, that's Jill and Shumagorath. So the big question is, are we going to have the opportunity to download more characters post-release? Because it seems like a good idea.
You're going to hate me, but you're going to have to wait for more info regarding that. But I can tell you this, that as far as downloadable content is concerned, we're not just focused on characters, but there are other elements that we're thinking of adding and offering as DLC for the fans out there. So we'll be making announcements as we get closer to the release date, but it's not just characters that the fans have to look forward to. There's other additional stuff we're excited about bringing to them.
All right, well, thank you. So there you go. That is your latest look at Marvel vs. Capcom 3, which is just looking better and better, and you don't have much longer to wait. And it's going to come out on February 15th. We're going to have a lot more on the game in the weeks to come, including a couple surprises. So keep an eye out for that. Until then, let's get back to the show and see what's going on there.